Hello folks, Everchanger here, and welcome back to more Pokemon Yellow. Last time we continued our conquest of Rock Tunnel, and we actually finished it, making our way here to Lavender Town. This time, we are not actually going to be doing anything in Lavender Town, because the story will dictate that we come back here for a more extended visit in the relatively near future, so instead what we're going to do is we're just going to jump right into this route down here. This area is, as far as I know, entirely optional. You don't have to come down here. It's similar to Route 11, I think it is, in that regard. The one by Vermilion City. But this one has a few trainers on it that we can take on for some extra experience. And it's worth noting, a lot of them have water types with them, so I think I am going to switch Ivysaur in the front, since Ivysaur is a little behind on experience, not too terribly bad though. Anyway, right here, there's a lookout spot upstairs. Yep, there's yet another one of these right here. I don't think there's an aid up here for the professor, but I believe this girl has something for us. My Pokemon's ashes are stored in Pokemon Tower. Oh, this is depressing. You can have this TM, I don't need it anymore. And we get TM 39. Oh dear, what could this possibly be? Yes, Lavender Town, as many of you know, is actually home to the resident graveyard area that pretty much every Pokemon region except for Johto is mandated to have, and there's a lot of depressing dialogue to go along with it. It is Swift. Oh, there's a joke in there. There's definitely a joke in there, but I'm not going to make it. I feel like it would be in poor taste. Anyway, right through here, we are back out on this route. Now, I believe there aren't any items that we can get right now, just the 4, I believe, trainers. So we're just going to be fighting trainers this episode, and honestly, it probably won't take the entire episode to beat everyone on this route, so we might be moving on to another route that has even more trainers on it, because battling trainers, that's the name of the game. At least in Japan. Pocket Monster Trainer. Very good, very nice. Now, I really, really hope Ivysaur will get, Razor Leaf at some point, because Vine Whip, while it's decent, it's only got 10 power points. Razor Leaf, historically, I've always had a better time with, plus Razor Leaf has 25 power points instead of just 10. I was hoping we get it right there, just for the interest of the conversation, but unfortunately, we did not, and oh my god. Oh, hypnosis. And we wake up immediately. Okay, I'm pretty sure that can't happen in later generations, so I guess we should count our blessing that that can actually happen immediately, and then hypnosis fails on us twice more, which is kind of funny, actually. The irony is abound. But yeah, if Ivysaur runs out of Vine Whips on this little jaunt of ours, which it probably will in all honesty, oh wow, a critical hit. We'll just switch over to Pikachu, who is also super effective against pretty much all the Pokemon in this route. Alright, to get our cash. That item right over there, that's going to be teasing us for a while. We can't get that for a little bit. Nothing up here, so we have to fight this guy. Be patient, fishing is a waiting game. But anyway, you're probably going to notice as we travel along this route that this will actually wrap around to that Snorlax we saw back in episode, what was it? 19 or 20? Somewhere around Vermilion City. And that brings me to something I really like about the Kanto region that I think I've mentioned before, but this is just another really good example of it. Everything is really, really interconnected in the Kanto region. Like, I like the Unova region a lot, but one of the reasons I like it is definitely not its interconnectedness, because for the most part, it's a pretty linear region. When you get into Kanto, you've got a lot of loop-de-loops and optional areas and things that you can explore that link things up in really cool ways. And I think that's the main reason that people just like the Kanto region so much, is because it's such a... it's more of a web than a string, I guess we could say. Alright, is that your last Pokemon? No, it is not. You have another Goldeen, which I think we can work with. Well, not another Goldeen, but I think, the other guy had a Goldeen, I suppose. Alright, so I am actually recording this episode the day before it's supposed to go up, because school is happening, and I'm running out of time to get these things recorded ahead. So hopefully I can get at least 3 recorded today for the entire week. Oh, Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is good. Thunderbolt is very, very good. In fact, I think I'm going to get rid of Thundershock for it, because Thunderbolt is literally Thundershock, but better. Alrighty. And we have Thunderbolt. Awesome. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get a little bit ahead on the recording right now, and I was going to record this morning, but for whatever reason, my neighbors decided it would be a really good time to start hammering something. I don't know what it was. But it was pretty loud, so I had to wait a little bit before I could get to recording this video. So I'm actually only recording at about 3 p.m. the day before it goes up, which isn't awful. I have recorded videos day of before. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's not really the greatest feeling in the world because you've got that tension behind it. At least here we've got a night in between when I record it and when it goes up, and that's what I like to try and keep going with the channel, because recording stuff day of, it's the same way I approach homework. If I do my homework the day it's due, I don't feel good about it because of the stress involved. But yeah, and hopefully I'll be able to get more videos recorded today, because as far as I know, we're expecting a pretty major winter storm where I am early in the week, and I have a feeling I might lose power if it's as bad as they say it could be. I was watching a posting on the local Weather Channel Twitter account, and they said that we could have possibly as much as 2 feet of snow, and honestly, where I live, like, we get snow here, but we don't get that much snow. So if we actually do get 2 feet of snow, like, I live in the Northeast, but 2 feet of snow is going to shut everything down. So part of me wants it to happen because it would be really insane to see something like that happen, because it almost never does. But part of me doesn't want it to happen because losing power is not fun, especially when the new Zelda game is out. Alright, let's try Thunderbolt here. That's gonna bring this thing down pretty much immediately, I think. Yeah. Fun fact about either Thunderbolt or Thunder. Now that I think about it, I think it's Thunder. In, I want to say, Generation 3, Thunder had a really, really small chance of, I think, crashing the sound engine because of some of the effects that it used. Really, really interesting bit of trivia right there. I don't know how I found that out because I've never actually had it happen. I think I just stumbled across it in a trivia section on Bulbapedia or something. Alright, down goes yet another Goldeen, and it looks like this is more Pikachu's day than anything else, because Thunderbolt, as you can see, it tears into things, and it's great. Thunderbolt is one of my favorite electric-type moves just because you can always rely on it. 100% accuracy, really high power, like 90 or 95, I think, depending on what game you're playing. It's just good. I love using it. It always makes you feel empowered when you get Thunderbolt on a Pokemon because it just destroys everybody. But anyway, right here, we can now read the sign, Sport Fishing Area. Unfortunately, we only have the Old Rod, which is not very good. A sleeping Pokemon blocks the way. Indeed it does. This is as far as we go on this route, so I think without further ado we are going to snap back to Lavender Town and heal. Alrighty, here we are in Lavender Town, and I think now we're going to head out this way because this is yet another route where we can battle some trainers, and this one actually is required as far as I know. I think there are 10 trainers on this route, because of that, we're probably not going to get through this entire route in this video, but we'll probably get through it next video, which I think is good enough. Alright, so we have Clefairy right here. Now, Clefairy is not knocked out. Darn it, I was hoping we would be able to get a KO with Ivysaur in some capacity. I mean, we outlevel it by 3, but I guess it's not happening. It's probably not going to happen until we can get some more powerful moves, because honestly, as I've already mentioned this episode, Vine Whip, it's really not the greatest move in the world. Like, look, it's gonna take 4 of these things to take down this Clefairy. Like, sheesh. I have to wonder when actually we're going to be getting a hold of Razor Leaf. I don't really want to look it up, but I might if we don't get it by level 30 or so. You know what, I'm going to switch over to Nidorino because Nidorino has the clear type advantage on this. And we'll just lay on the double kick. Now, I'm not sure, but I think double kick is actually the only fighting move Nidorino is ever going to get, which is a little unfortunate because double kick, honestly, it's either two 30 power hits or one 60 power hit, depending on how you want to calculate it. I think the math is pretty much the same. But yeah, 60 power fighting type move without stab isn't the greatest thing in the world. I'm a rambling, gambling dude. Video title? I don't know, maybe. Alright. And here we go. We have another gambler. Oh wow, and he has a Growlithe, which is alright, except we have Ivysaur out front, so I think we're going to switch over to Wartortle for the type advantage on that front. Alright, there we go. And we have Leer coming out, which isn't the worst thing in the world, so we're just going to Water Gun on this guy. And that should bring him down pretty quick. Now, believe it or not, I believe I mentioned a few episodes ago that we were pretty far away from the next gym fight, but honestly, we're actually coming up on it a lot quicker than I thought we were. I thought we would be around episode 30 before we did the gym fight, but it's looking entirely possible. We might be doing the gym battle the episode after next, which is pretty cool. And honestly, the quicker we can get through this thing, the better, because honestly, having done 2 super long Pokemon Let's Plays on this channel, I'm definitely ready to have one be a more manageable, non-insane length. I feel like other Let's Players especially could understand that. Now, I looked it up and I believe there aren't any hidden items on this route, so there's really no point in me chopping this tree down because through there is only grass and nothing else. So we're just going to be bypassing that and fighting yet another trainer. Alright, it looks like we're only about 12-ish minutes into this episode and we're already making some decent progress through all these trainers. I'm really, really impressed we managed to get through Rock Tunnel's trainers in 2 episodes, to be honest. Like, I was not expecting to get through Rock Tunnel in 2 videos. I was expecting it to take at least 3. In fact, in my little text document where I plan out future episodes, I had 3.5 episodes, I think, penciled in for the whole Rock Tunnel area, but we got through it very cleanly in 2, which is really impressive by my standards. I thought it was going to take a lot longer. Alright, we have a Grimer right here, and unfortunately, since we're not packing Psychic, there's really not much we can do against Poison types. I think Poison types are still weak to Ground in Generation 1, though. I know that's a weakness they have in later generations. I'm pretty sure it's always been that way. Oh wow, he has a Muck. That's a little scary. Now, I have a little bit of a funny story about this Pokemon, which I think I might have told in an earlier Let's Play. Back when I was a lot younger, like 7 or 8, when I was playing my first Pokemon game, that was Crystal, I was in the Elite Four of Pokemon Crystal, and one of the members of the Elite Four has a Muck. And I believe in Pokemon Crystal, that's the first time you ever see that Pokemon. So the first time I ever saw a Muck, period, was fighting the Elite Four in Pokemon Crystal, and I spoke its name out loud to myself because, you know, I was 7 or 8, and you see something like, huh, Muck, that's interesting. And as you can imagine, my parents were in the room, and they thought I said something else. And it took me a couple more years to figure out what they thought I had said by then, but I had to, like, show them the game and prove to them that, no, I did not say whatever they thought I said. So yeah, there's your funny story for the day. Alright, we defeated the Super Nerd, and we are about 14 minutes into this episode now. Awesome. I like making good time. Making good time is always really nice. Oh yeah, there's like 4 trainers here for some reason. Let's go down them in order. Probably not going to do them all this video, but we could probably get through at least 1 or 2. At least, I hope we can. Alright, you've got 2 Pokemon. That's pretty manageable. Alright. Now, I do apologize if some of these recent videos have been a little bit boring. I can definitely understand if they have been. I just want you guys to understand that this is a part of the game that kind of tends to lull a little bit, because you have to go through the entirety of Rock Tunnel, and this route, and the route by Cerulean, to get to the next bit of story in the game, and it can get a little tedious. And honestly, when you're a player like me who wants to fight pretty much every trainer, it can get a little boring. So I do apologize, but when we get to the next town, there's going to be a bit of story progress for us to make. We have the gym battle, and we also have something else, which is going to be familiar to any veterans of this game, because it's probably one of the more memorable parts of the game, especially for followers of Twitch Plays Pokemon, because we are coming up on that area where they got stuck for a long time, so that'll be a fun little story when we get there. Anyone who's unfamiliar with that by some magical happenstance, if you haven't seen that, you thought the ledge was bad. As someone who watched a lot of Twitch Plays Pokemon live, watching players get stuck in this next area for over a day and a half, it was rough. It was really, really rough. I thought the chat was going to lose its mind. I mean, further than it already had, of course. Why? Why? Because That was really stupid. Alright, school is fun, but so are Pokemon. School is fun? Maybe that's our video title. I don't know. I'll have to decide. Alright, Super Nerd, and he's only got one Pokemon, and it is a Coughing. That's an interesting one. Unfortunately, Ivysaur is really not the best matchup for this guy, so I think we're going to switch over to Wartortle to bring him down, because as far as I recall, Grass is not very effective on Poison. Alright, let's get a Water Gun going right here. But yeah, speaking of Poison, I was doing the global mission for Sun and Moon this morning because I needed to get 3 battle points to get the participation prize for the global mission. And man, oh man, there were so many Poison types. Like, I'd get out my Toxapex and I'd start setting up on them, and then the AI would immediately send out a Poison type and clear out my Toxic Spikes. Like, I was seriously upset about that. Like, sheesh, it took me forever to get those 3 battle points I needed with my in-game team. I'll stay with school. Okay, whatever floats your boat, guy. But anyway, with that, I think we are going to end things off here. So, this past episode of Pokemon Yellow, we conquered a route and a half, pretty much, because honestly, that route south of Lavender, since we did all that we could, at this point, it's basically a full route. And next time on Pokemon Yellow, we are going to be wrapping up our conquest of Route 8, I believe this is, and probably getting to the next town. So without further ado, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.
目のクラゲ、クラゲポケモン、高さ 0.9 メートル、重さ 45.5 キログラム、水晶のように透き通った目玉から不思議な光のビームを発射する。